Hello, hello, hello. What's up,
What
ladies
up,
and gentlemen?
Yep.
Well, what a week. Week 7 in the NFL was a doozy. And guys, if you didn't already know, welcome to THF, the Extra Point. We got Daddy Dabs, Jadu, Ray, myself, Darth Wakko. We're all live on Twitch and also over on the Facebook THF Hub channel as well on all y'all on the old Facebook. Welcome to. Okay, I'll just put this out there real quick so it doesn't confuse people. If you're watching the replay on YouTube tomorrow or beyond, this is supposed to be episode 8, but we're doing week 7. So I made an executive decision to go back and rename all the episodes to where this is episode 7. And the first show that we did was episode 0, the pilot. Just in case anybody's wondering why last week I said it was episode 7, and now I'm saying it's episode 7 again. Now that I got that out of the way, welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm okay with that, but we'll just move on. We'll just move on.
Too bad. That's the way it goes. How about that crazy week? I mean,
just put the pick'ems on screen.
Holy cow!
Let's just get right into it.
For all of us, I think for picks, like our lowest scores, all in 1 week.
This was horrendous.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
And that was for everyone in the NFL, like that was doing it. Like, it was just a crazy week for everyone, bro. Yeah.
This is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen in our pick'ems.
It was awful, and betting was no better.
Might as well just draw things out of a hat and randomly choose because we would have got more right.
Look, I was playing some Fortnite with Superhero Gamers, and you guys have probably heard me talk about him a couple times because last year he won weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 in our weekly pick'ems. And not only does he live in the UK, but he doesn't ever watch football. In fact, he doesn't even know like anything about American football. And he won 4 weeks in a row. This is a week he could have won. I told him, like, of all the weeks for you not to play, you could have won this week because your picks are so random, and that's exactly what we got in real life football this week.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
I think Gwen went on a tear last season also, but I think her dad picks for her.
He definitely helps her with the picks. Yeah. She doesn't know. She's our resident Go Sports person. So anytime you talk about sports, Gwinneka is the first one to say, yeah, Go Sports, because she doesn't have a clue.
But yeah, this was not. I don't think this was a good week for anybody with pick'ems. I mean, the top score was 6. That's wild. But there were just so many upsets.
Yeah, the 6 out of 13. Now we had 6 teams on bye, so there were 3 games short this week. But 6 out of 13. That's just wow, crazy.
Everything is reversed this week. All the losses should have been wins. All the wins should have been losses.
I've seen people that were in a slump in pick'ems because I've been playing pick'ems with a lot of different groups for a long time. I've seen some people use that as a slump buster. They take their picks and they flip it to where, like, if I think Jacksonville's going to win, I take New Orleans. Just take the opposite what you think, the whole line down. and I've seen the guy win once too doing that. So, hey, whatever it takes. That's how pick'ems go.
I feel bad for anyone in the survivor pool right now because it's just it must be absolutely miserable. If anyone's still alive in the survivor pool,
that would
I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't know.
They would have gotten real lucky to make it through some of the upsets this year's already had.
I just want to point out my Patriots beat Buffalo, and this was the first week that I did not pick the Patriots to win.
I'm glad you said it first. I was coming for you, bro.
The first week I did not put New England in for the pick'ems.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So the Patriots beat the Bills. Did I hear that right? You say the Patriots beat the Bills?
That's not an error.
And the Vikings beat the 49ers.
And the Vikings beat the Niners,
Yep.
and the Niners are on a 2-week win or loss streak now. So I don't know. Purdy, I don't think he's MVP status. I think after 2 weeks in a row, it's kind of harder to make that because Debo's out. Yeah, but he still has everybody.
Yeah, and this week in McCaffrey played the whole game, right? Like, how did he look?
McCaffrey played, and he looked good. At first, he looked a little iffy because he fumbled the ball. He had to get his gloves back on. But after that, like, it wasn't his best game ever, but he still got a touchdown. He still got okay yards.
He got 2 touchdowns.
In a row.
He played 100% of snaps.
Yep.
He played every single, and that was from saying, "Oh, I might play this week," because of his oblique injury, to playing the whole game.
Yo, and look, I gotta eat some crow. I put some. We'll get into bets later on, but I had all my faith in the Ayuk basket this week with Debo.
Yeah,
Ayuk and Kittle.
And Kittle. Kittle did all right. I mean, fantasy wise,
Kittle did all right for a tight end. He did fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
he did okay.
6 targets, like 76 or 80 yards or some shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't find the end zone or get those extra points, but he usually he's been very touchdown dependent this year. Let's say that. And he did okay without a touchdown in fantasy, but so as a Kittle owner, I was happy with that. Ayuk, as a Ayuk owner, I was not happy.
See, he was trending really well, especially in the first half, and then he just kind of fell off.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings defense looked a lot better, and the 49ers defense looked a lot worse because Madison was running on them, bro. They were letting Madison get yards on them. And
Madison's no
Cam
slouch.
Akers too. Like, they're not the most terrible running backs, but the 49ers are supposed to have the hands-down best defense in the whole league.
Right. And Minnesota is not a run-heavy offense by any means.
They are not.
They're very heavy on the pass. So it was pretty obvious they were going to kind of take a step back in terms of the passing game, just with Justin Jefferson being out. But pretty much all the entirety of the Minnesota offense looked like they had their best game in a long time against what's supposed to be the best defense in the NFL. So it's definitely was an interesting game, but I do want to circle back a little bit to the Brock Purdy versus Mac Jones talk. This is something I want to touch on because there's been a lot of comparisons, and the rumor since Mac was drafted by the Patriots is that Shanahan wanted him. So you see, the media loves to spin things. So last week, Mac Jones was fighting for his job, and Brock Purdy was still a superstar stud. Now it's the opposite. Mac Jones, he finally had his distinctive win where he shows that he's competent as a quarterback. And now the discussion is that, Brock Purdy's a system quarterback. There was a reason he was last in the draft. He's a product of Shanahan and the all-pro offense and blah, blah, blah. The only thing I would say to that, he was going to come down to earth at some point. He went on the stellar run, but it wasn't sustainable. And I really do think there is some merit to the talent around him. That argument being made, because I saw an interesting stat. Mac Jones he's in his third year in the league. He's thrown 42 touchdowns, and one of them has been to a Pro Bowl player. Brock Purdy has thrown 24 touchdowns, and 19 of them have been to Pro Bowl players. So there is a definite difference in the offensive weapons and the talent around them. Normally a quarterback will take a good player and make them great, but it's very rare that's the opposite.
So you're talking about two teams that have the exact opposite
issues right now
too, like 5-2 San Francisco and 2-5 New England, right?
I don't really think the argument was ever if Brock Purdy is good. He's definitely like solid, but the argument is he MVP worthy? And the last 2 games have shown like, hey, this guy isn't what you make him out to be. He's losing one guy, and he just lost to the Vikings. And he's throwing some really weird passes, especially in that fourth quarter of the Vikings game where he threw that pick. That was a really interesting pass there. I'm not gonna act like every quarterback's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, but now we're seeing 2 games in a row with an upset, and he's only down 1 player.
Yeah.
So,
but he is a rookie, and he was the last pick, and he hasn't technically even played a full season's worth of games. I think the sample size might be a little bit too small to say, okay, he lost 2 games in a row. Well,
and even the best quarterbacks are going to have bad games every once in a while. So, but I do get what Janu's saying. Like this kind of at least puts a damp cloth on the MVP conversation.
Because
this
it's always
early
hard
in the
to tell because they have so many weapons, and then all of a sudden they lost 1 weapon, and then all of a sudden he loses 2 times in a row, and now he's only down 1. And MVP status quarterbacks, they'll show those glimpses of shine even in bad situations. And like I said, I think he's a good quarterback, but MVP worthy. He's young. He's too young. He just started playing.
But the point is, like, for how young he is, us to even have the conversation, oh, he's not in MVP mode anymore. The fact that he even wasn't mentioned for that,
it's pretty good.
It's still pretty good, even though he had 2 losses. Like, okay, now he's not, and maybe not MVP, but he's still a really good quarterback.
So I never really fed into the MVP talk. It was more a comparison of his success compared to other quarterbacks. It's always going to be Mahomes and Lamar and Josh Allen and all these guys at the top of the MVP discussion. It would be unfair to compare him to those quarterbacks just because of how young he is and how small, like Dab said, how small of a sample size there is. But it is interesting to see how quickly the tables can turn, whether it's in actual gameplay or on the side of the media. Because again, a week ago, the media, he was still being hailed as the second coming of quarterback Christ. And not for nothing. Not for nothing, though. The 49ers seem pretty confident with him, and rightfully so. He had given them
Trey Lance. They got rid of everybody.
They moved on from Jimmy G. They traded Trey Lance, and they said he's the guy.
They anointed him 100%, no doubt.
Right.
Yeah, you couldn't have been more confident.
So it has to be a balancing act, and he was bound to come down to earth at some point, and I think we're kind of seeing that.
I agree.
I don't think he's written off. He's still I still believe he's going to have success, but the 49ers may be human.
Oh yeah, they're definitely human, no doubt. When they lost their first game to Cleveland, that was an easy write-off because they had some injuries in that game. They were playing a really stellar defense,
but they also played a 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too. But there were obvious excuses on what. Now they just lost to a Justin Jefferson-less Vikings team.
Yeah, but if you had Jordan Addison on your fantasy team,
oh my God, let's talk about Addison. Oh my God,
I have him on my other league. I think he had me it was over 30 points. But
yeah, he was really showing off last night. I mean, that catch, one of the last catch that saved the game, I think, because they got him an extra touchdown. Kirk Cousins threw it right to the defender. I was going to be an interception. He just rips it out of his hands and runs all the way down the field. I didn't even see what happened. I was like, what the heck? Are you serious right now? He just rips it out of his hands and steals it. He didn't even catch it. Oh, my God. That guy's talented, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Jefferson Jr., bro.
He's going to get harder and harder. He keeps showing out like this. He's going to get harder and harder to put in some of those DraftKings and underdog lineups because his stats are going to end up being too high. The guy's just going off. It's crazy. He's going to start inching up in the over-unders.
I didn't expect it to be this game, though. I didn't expect it to be against the 49ers defense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems lately players are having breakout games in the games you don't expect.
Yeah, let's also talk about
case in point, the Patriots,
Ravens and Lions game. That was a huge blowout.
Yeah, where did the Lions forget like to get on the plane, or I mean, what
Dude,
happened to
it was
Or
them?
just mute. They were gone.
Yeah. They still have Montgomery. That's a big weapon. You know, the run game has been
Jameer
really
Gibbs
good.
stepped up though. He had a solid game.
But he hadn't up until now, and clearly it wasn't enough. If they have the 1-2 punch of having Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, that's where a lot of their success is going to come in.
Well, let's see the other flip side of it too. You know, like Lions, of course, are way better than what they shown, but Lamar Jackson was nailing those throws. He had a ton of rush yards. He had a ton of pass yards, passing touchdowns. He looked like an MVP status quarterback, and the team looked like it was schmoving. Because before it was like he would either run too much, usually you just run too much, or you would pass too much.
Yeah.
And that game he was doing a bit of both, and it was working.
For a while there, you couldn't really figure out what the main piece of the Baltimore offense was. Other than Mark Andrews, that's his safety blanket. There really wasn't a standout guy. But it seemed like the machine was well oiled in this last game. So it'll be interesting to see how each team performs next week. I feel like that we're going to be saying that about a lot of these matchups this past week, and going into the coming week. I'm really interested. Thursday night is going to be a really good game. I may be somewhat biased because I'm I low key root for the Bucks as well, but the Buccaneers are an example of a team that they've been performing probably a little higher than everybody expected, but then they couldn't beat the Falcons at home. They lost in similar fashion to the Niners last week. They lost by a field goal. The way Baker's been playing this season, the way that offense has been, you would think they would have a more distinctive victory in their, on their hands. And they're facing a pretty big challenge, playing on short rest, playing the Buffalo Bills, who came off of, frankly, an embarrassing loss to the Patriots. The Patriots are we've been saying it all season. They're trying to figure their stuff out, but they're bottom 5.
Well, it was embarrassing because they just almost lost to the Giants. Like the Giants were
barely
one pass
beat the
away
Giants
from winning that game.
Yeah, they barely beat the Giants. They lost to the Patriots. So are they gonna blow doors against Tampa, or are they gonna lose again? And if they lose again, what happens? Do we start kind of looking at Buffalo as not the juggernaut everybody thought they were, or are they gonna? And on the other side of that coin, if they have a distinctive win, if they go to Tampa and blow doors, which I don't think they're going to do, do we say, okay, they're back and they're still the juggernauts everybody thought they were?
Well, Tampa Bay's been much better than a lot of people expected them to be. So I would say that if Buffalo can win convincingly against Tampa Bay, then maybe you give them a pass for the last couple weeks. But if they go in there and struggle and or lose to Tampa Bay, then you got to wonder what's in the heads of a lot of these players that are supposed to be this great team, and they haven't done anything yet. Now you got to wonder, is everybody on the team got a little bit of a block, or maybe just not as good as
I've been saying it for a long time. People tend to put Josh Allen on the pedestal. He's, for all intents and purposes, and I don't mean this in a ragging on the Cowboys way, but he is the Dak Prescott of the AFC.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a generational quarterback. He's got incredible talent around him. He's supposed to have next level coaching. That he makes it to the playoffs every season and doesn't get anywhere with it. And at the end of the day, he's still making terrible mistakes, terrible throws.
Started the game off with an interception.
His first pass of the game was an interception. So when people say, "Oh, Josh Allen is on the same level as Mahomes and Burrow and blah blah blah," he's really not. Yeah, he can scramble, yeah, he can throw, but he doesn't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, he's on fire right now. He needs to step it up, or he's going to be in the talks for being a bad quarterback. Last year, after he failed in the playoffs, and these past 2 games, it's been tough for him. Fantasy, has been great, but
he's
watching the Bills
coming in clutch for me in fantasy, but they're not turning it around.
I mean,
which I love it. I love there's nothing I love more than the Bills losing, especially when it's to the Patriots. just because the Bills are like, oh, Tom's out of town, so now it's our division. Okay, you can win the division all you want, but you haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, I think the next couple of weeks in the NFL are going to be really important for a lot of teams because it's going to show if they're actually good or if they're actually trash. Like for the Bills, for instance, the past 2 games they had, they're going to have to make up for that. The underdog wins that we've been seeing. Like, is Tyrod Taylor really better than Daniel Jones? That discussion because they've been playing a lot better with him. And they clutched the win last week and almost beat the Bills. There's a lot of flipping going around, along in the NFL, and like the 49ers too, same with them. And the next couple of weeks are going to be important for them, especially too. And
Titans
the Chargers are off 2 losses now.
Titans are done.
Titans might have their rookie playing soon, is what I hear.
Which Will Levis?
Yeah.
He's
I'm just reading that earlier today that they're thinking about having him start the next game, right?
He's third string, yeah. Malik Willis is second string.
Yeah, but I think, well, anyway, I think I thought I was reading that he was probably going to get the start this week, but
it's a 50-50 shot between Malik Willis and Will Levis if Tannehill's not available. Tennessee doesn't really know much about either. Levis is the rookie. They have at least 1 year's worth of film with Willis.
Right.
But, they're going to trade Henry and probably DeAndre Hopkins before the trade deadline.
Yep,
I would think so
too.
They'll definitely trade Henry.
Especially with
there's even reports that they're working with him to try to find him a contender team. Like it's very mutual. They're not like just kicking him to the curb. Yeah, they're like trying to get him on a team where he can pursue a Super Bowl. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So I respect to them for doing that. Giving him an opportunity. Still sucks, but yeah, Tajay Spears, he's a good rookie. So
yeah, we'll be having some where could Henry land talk probably in the upcoming.
Yeah, we have trade deadline coming up. We're gonna have to have
the 31st, right?
Devoted
Tuesday
episode.
Chiefs or Ravens?
Is it Tuesday? Right? It's the 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 4 p.m. or like that.
We could potentially have breaking news during our show next week.
Yeah,
that's the hope.
That'd be kind of fun.
First.
Yeah,
but
I'll have to stay up late and get the episode loaded up to YouTube.
Yeah, there's some. I feel like a lot of teams are having big discussions right now. We're not really sure. Nobody's really sure what the Patriots are going to do. Because they do have a lot of potential trade pieces, but who knows what Belichick's going to do?
Do they have anything that anybody like a Henry that really sticks out though? I mean, for them to be buyers or sellers.
So there's talk.
They're not buyers.
Well, that's the thing. The talk around here has been kind of back and forth between they're going to tank and they're going to try to get a top 5 pick. But one win against the Bills, it's like, okay, well, if they can beat Miami, then they're kind of sort of back in it, which I disagree with. I really want them to kind of give into the rebuild and trade some pieces now and get draft capital, etc. But
Tennessee.
So Kendrick Bourne is a potential piece. Hunter Henry, he's coming up to the end of his contract. So he may want to. Other teams may want to, take a look at him. Kyle Duggar on the defensive side. Michael Onwenu. There's a handful of guys that they're pretty good, but they're not really performing to the standard that is needed here to kind of get the team back on track. So the thought is, okay, well, let's kind of take a step back, trade off some pieces, get some draft capital, maybe get some veteran guys to come in. But other than that, there's not really anybody worth. There's not much going on with the Patriots in terms of talent. A lot of people are saying to trade Mac Jones or to trade Bill Belichick. But
You know,
just extended Bill Belichick.
the rumor now is that
Dude,
Bill
that
just
would be
extended
crazy.
he just extended his contract. So
no,
there's a
I
lot
thought it
going
was
on back here.
confirmed that he did.
Yeah.
to Homley's Henry to the Eagles, that'd be an interesting. Like, I don't think
I
that
don't see it.
Eagles need him.
I don't
but
think they have the draft capital or the cap space to be able to get Henry.
Yeah, and then they just made that trade with the Eagles on the defensive side, right? They got
With Byard, yeah, and
Maybe
they signed. Did they sign or trade for DeAndre Swift? So they signed him to something too. So that's
yeah. So they're probably done.
I'm telling you, Ravens or Chiefs.
They got
and
back on
maybe
track
the
this week.
Cowboys.
I can see it Ravens or Chiefs. I don't know about the Cowboys, maybe, but
Ravens or Chiefs. Those are
I
my
think
two.
Ravens or Chiefs. One or the
Yeah,
other.
I think Cowboys are happy with what they have at running back with
I think-
Pollard and
I think
Yeah,
he
Yeah,
would
but
fit
Jerry
in.
Jones has that little taste for
Keeps
the finer
everyone-
things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Why?
Keeps everyone
but
forever.
Henry would fit in so well with the Lamar offense
Yes, he would.
that they would make a serious run.
Plus, how
Yeah.
badass would Derrick Henry look in that purple and black?
I mean, the Steelers
That'd
might
be
be
a good
Steelers might be an option too. Seeing how Najee Harris is just like a corpse and barely does anything.
fit. That'd be
Yeah,
weird.
but they're not really
They're
contenders.
they're like one piece away from kind of contending. But
Man, it's
Are
called
they?
Kenny Pickett.
yeah,
But
but
he needs to just have more. He needs to have more. I believe in Pickett, but I think he's not ready.
you plug a weapon like Henry in anywhere, he's gonna be successful. But I like the D Hop take. That's an interesting notion that they're gonna trade him. He's clearly not performing to what everyone thought he would.
What was the contract that they gave him,
I don't know.
or what does he have left?
This is his contract year.
I think he signed a 1-year deal with a player option.
Wait, was he traded or did they sign him as a free agent?
No, he was
Who?
cut. He was cut from the.
DeAndre Hopkins was cut.
I'm pretty sure. They cut him and then he signed.
Yes, they didn't trade for him
Okay, all right. So
because
they
he was a
probably just
free
had-
agent and had a few other teams interested, but they didn't sign him.
I'd have to look that up. What somebody in the chat tell me what DeAndre Hopkins deal?
I
that
know
he signed.
the
I'm looking it up
49ers
now.
and the Lions passed on him, and he was pretty pissed about it.
Yeah, I was thinking that he was looking for a multi-year deal, which a longer multi-year deal, which is why his trade market was kind of low. And
I thought it was
I
a
thought
2 or
the
3
Titans-
year deal.
Yeah, I thought the Titans gave him like a 2 or 3 year deal. It wasn't the 4 or 5 that I think he was looking for, but I don't know. It feels we're only in week 7, and that feels like a lifetime ago to me sometimes because of everything that you talk about in the course of a football season. You know,
Yeah,
we're almost
So-
halfway through already.
So D Hop signed a 2-year, $26 million deal with incentives up to 32.
Okay. All right.
So
So
is
he
still
could, yeah. I mean, they're not losing a ton if they trade him. You know, if it just like they traded him for him, or they got him in hopes that they were gonna be competitive, and obviously they're not. Okay, if we're gonna go switch to rebuild mode, we cut bait and try to get something for the future out of him. You know, because they do have a year and a half on a year. They have him for another year and a half. That's worth something. You know. If he's not part of the problem, you know, if he's still
Leonard
got
Fournette,
something in the tank.
I don't know
Leonard
what the hell
Fournette's
they're
gonna
doing.
be going to a team. Where do you think he's gonna end up?
Who's that?
Fournette.
Leonard Fournette. He's coming back in a week. He said he's gonna release what team that he signed with.
he's another option to go to Baltimore.
Baltimore, Cleveland.
How much does he got left in the tank?
He might go to Cleveland. That's another team that could use help, you know, at running
Especially
back.
because
Yeah,
Jerome
but why
Ford
would-
got hurt on Sunday.
If why wouldn't they've gotten Fournette then instead of Hunt?
Hunt knows the system.
Yeah. He's a plug-in.
That's
He was
true.
there the last 2-3 years.
Plug and
so.
play. But they needed somebody for the whole year. So I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't get the better guy.
I think Kareem Hunt is a better guy.
You think he's better than Leonard Fournette?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean,
Potentially,
know.
yeah.
Then I guess
I
why
just think
would
he's got a
Cleveland
little
want him
more
now?
elusiveness.
They've
A little bit more
they've
shiftiness.
both been kind of irrelevant for the last couple of years. Kareem Hunt fell off when Jonathan
Almost
Taylor
as-
kind of blew up.
Kareem Hunt fell off when he like punched that girl in the face.
Yeah, that didn't help.
So did Deshaun.
But-
It was something else though.
Yeah.
Whoa, hi-oh.
I think we have one more game though to go over first that we didn't go over was the Miami and Eagles game.
Yeah,
That
was a rough
Um,
game.
Do you guys think that that game should have gone a lot differently? Because what I've heard is that some of the referees there, at least one of them, had already been banned from the league, or sorry, fired, I guess I should say. Yeah, and he was making some questionable calls, and there was a lot of screenshots of Eagles players holding and literally grabbing face masks, like the one where he pulled the guy's face mask. I think it could have gone a little bit different without that. But do you guys think that Tua is no longer in the MVP category? Do you think that Tua is still as good as they say that he is? What do you guys think about that game?
I feel like we have the referee discussion every week now.
Yeah,
it
really does seem like every week there's somebody that gets
there were
the
some
raw end
egregious
of the deal.
calls, but at the end of the day, do we kind of lump him into the, he has Pro Bowl talent around him, and that's why he's as successful as he's been, or
who, Tua?
Tua.
Yeah, that's what we got that comment right away. He's only as good as Hill makes him.
Not only that, but Mostert was getting shut down the entire game. They completely shut off the run on pretty much both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and they currently don't have the 1-2 punch of Mostert and a chain, because a chain's still on IR. So it's another prime example of if the running game gets shut down, the offense kind of stands still.
Do anything either though.
It's interesting. We've got a few teams that lose one star, and then all of a sudden, they're San Francisco, Debo gone. They're struggling. Minnesota, JJ. Now they did just beat San Francisco, but that first week, they were struggling right out of the gate. They almost lost to Chicago. It's like that one player. Desheen on Miami is not, just the latest an example. It's like I think everybody. In our pick'ems, every single person picked against the 5-1 Philly and picked Miami. It's like at 100% unanimous in our pick'ems. Was
the
Miami.
media spun it as a revenge game to because Tua replaced Jalen in the the championship game, but again the Miami defense, with how good they've been all season, Tua was supposed to ball out against the Eagles, because I don't want to. I really do not want to give you guys any credit, but I'm kind of on the same. I'm in the same boat as you guys that the Eagles are frauds. So Tua was supposed to expose them, and he was supposed to ball out and throw for 350 and 2+ touchdowns and blah blah blah. But are we going to blame the refs? Are we going to blame the run game? What are we really going to do? I'm still a firm believer that Tua is kind of mid, but he's good enough to elevate the talent that he has around him, and you can't deny the talent.
Yeah, because whether or not they're on a super talented offense, he gets the job done usually. It seems like when they go against tougher teams, like what they had happen to them with the Bills, that they've shut down so far. So it's kind of hard to tell. But because like on the games where they've done well, Tua looks like the best quarterback in the league. But anytime they go against a team that's really good, it seems like he just falls flat. So. Yeah, I wanted to pull up that comment too that guy made. He says, "So I just traded Garrett Wilson for Trevor Lawrence, Superflex PPR league." Thoughts on that? I agree with Brian. Trevor Lawrence is going to be more consistent for you for points in a Superflex league,
especially.
Yeah, Superflex is what it makes the decision easier.
I think
Yeah.
he's going to have a great rest of the season. He's been pretty consistent so far this year, at least for fantasy points. So I think he's going to have a great season.
Good quarterbacks are just like good running backs. It's like they're guaranteed points every week, and unfortunately, the same can't be said the other way around with wide receivers.
It's some weeks are better than others. You know, like I had that week where DJ Moore went crazy. I flexed him in 2 leagues and decisively won both matchups because of him.
Yeah.
And then you start him the following week and he puts up, single digit points.
It's kind of crazy. Some of the best wide receivers in the league, though, have had more than their fair share of duds this year. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson didn't really have maybe just one dud this season so far before his injury. Tyreek Hill has had a dud or two. It's but then the weeks that they ball out though, man, they can win a league for you. Those top 5 guys in the NFL, they'll win a whole week for you when they're on their game. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards. Yeah. I don't think Amari Cooper fits in that category anymore.
Amari Cooper is like flipping a coin, and when Deshaun Watson's playing, that coin is like bent, Murray practicing with the Cardinals again. Also, Dalvin Cook was released.
Kyler Murray.
I've never been a Kyler Murray fan.
Right. Yeah, not either. Right, but he would, especially in like a super flex PPR league, like Marcus is there. Kyler Murray is he's probably not even available. Somebody's been sitting on him, probably this whole time.
Yeah,
I think he's better than Dobbs.
Well, yeah,
I agree.
He was kind of promising earlier in the season, but since
the Dobbs
last few weeks is way down. So,
okay. I mean, it's like Dobbs is already fit into the offense, and Kyler Murray is just going to be coming back randomly. You guys think it's going to be that much better? Because I think Murray's definitely more talented, but it's not like Dobbs has been doing extremely terrible. The Cardinals have already been bad for a while.
I think if Murray when he comes back, it's going to be an audition on him next year.
Between the two, they're like for Kyler Murray will get the job back the rest of this year, but next year it might be an audition to keep it.
No, I think that they're going to move. They have a new coach. They got a whole new thing going on that didn't commit to Kyler when he was drafted. I just think they're going to chalk it up and say, the rest of this season can be for him to show what he can do for other teams, in my opinion. And then they're going to move on and draft the rookie class is very deep in quarterbacks next year. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Mm.
They might
so they're going to put him out there so he can show off and maybe they can trade him.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Well, they don't have much time. They got like one game.
There's no reason for the coaches to have faith in him. They've never even seen him play. Like this coaching staff is new. So.
I mean, it's kind of hard to have faith in the player when they have to put no Call of Duty in his contract.
Right? Yeah, he's definitely got good at Call of Duty.
He's great at Call of Duty. But he's another one where it's a hit or miss. You can't really rely on him. He's not a distinctive quarter. He's not elevating his team. You know what I mean?
He's not it. He's not the guy.
He's not Tom Brady. He's not an Aaron Rodgers. He's not somebody that he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not somebody that takes what he has and makes players better.
Yeah.
Elite quarterbacks will elevate the players around them much more often than the players around the quarterback make a great quarterback elite. You can see a good versus a better, but it's more often than not the elite quarterback making a good player great versus the latter. And Kyler Murray just doesn't do that. Most quarterbacks don't do that. But Kyler Murray, he's not even making good players good. He's kind of there.
He rushes. He's a Russian quarterback.
Yeah.
There we go. That's why.
He's Russian?
He's a great value Lamar.
No idea he was from Russia. Right? No, not so much. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, can I just go ahead and go Stars because they just won 3-1 against Pittsburgh.
Go Rangers.
Oh yeah, we'll get that. We'll get there. Well, before we move on to week 8 agenda, we'll take a look at the THF FFL league. The week that was or wasn't for some of us. Some of us a lucky few.
I had a great fantasy week.
Did you?
Good week.
I did.
Let's take a look. Janu, that was the beatdown of the week. And so he won by more than 0.08 this year against me. You're welcome. But it might have been.
Oh my gosh.
It might have
been. He only got
85
points.
85 points for Groot. Takes the biggest loser spot.
I'm just going to say that if Houston was paying attention, he would see at last second they made my guy, Henderson, starter, and Zach Evans didn't even play. So if he just knew that and switched it out, he probably would have had the more 5 points he needed or 7 points that he needed.
Yeah. He was right on my heels. Or rather, I was, because I had some Monday night players, so I had to sneak past him.
I really thought this week was going to be a lot worse for me since I was not sure with my running back situation, but it ended up going pretty good.
Yeah, you outkicked your projection by quite a bit, almost 50 points, I think it was. I fell short of mine by like 7. I'm next to last place again. So
in our division, Wakko,
it's a lot of 2 and 5s.
I'm above you now.
Hey, I'm a seller. Get your draft picks ready, boys and girls.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Let's
get your
draft
picks ready.
I have a trade request sent out. I don't know if anybody's responded to it yet.
To me?
No, not to you.
Oh, okay. You don't want my trash. Hey, look.
Let's celebrate the fact that I believe this is Brian's 3rd straight loss.
Oh, is it really? I didn't even notice that on the schedule. Let's see. Where's he at?
4-3 now.
4-3 down to 6. Who's in first place in our division, Dabs?
Tua in the pink.
There's Tua, and then all of us are tied at 5-2.
Holy. Wow. That's crazy.
And there's one person.
I'm tied for first with the Philly special, but he has more points than me right now.
New top dog this week too, Mr. Bolt Action, who's actually renamed just a couple weeks ago for being the low score. He comes out on top with a huge 188.
Guys, running backs back. His running backs went crazy this week.
Yeah,
Lobster.
Jonathan. He's been holding on to Jonathan Taylor, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it paid off.
He made a lot of people happy this week. Not my Lobster. She had him on the bench.
Lobster, I win when Brian loses. So
I go against him next week.
It's me versus Wakko this week.
Oh boy, another loss.
Hey Brian, you can't.
I don't know. It's kind of neck and neck right now, but I have some injuries I'm working through.
I will say that I called week 7 as my automatic loss because my team is very Cowboys and Cincinnati heavy, and both teams were on a bye this week. I was Firestorm. I think you also had 0 points on your bench.
Exactly 0 points on my bench.
I had negative points on my bench.
Ooh.
Because I had Elijah Mitchell who got negative 0.10. and he was on my bench. So, yeah, I had negative points on my bench. That's got to be a first. Got to be a first. So yeah,
but yeah, I'm working through a bunch of injuries right now. I have Deebo Samuel out. I have Jerome Ford doubtful. David Montgomery's still not back. You know, it could be and there's just nothing on the waiver wire. I know we're gonna get there, but it was like I had to pick up Latavius Murray to fill an empty slot because I had nothing to replace him with because of buys and because of injuries. he was the best option. He was the everyone else's filler. So it's
Brian's having a little fit in the chat. Speaking of injuries, Dabs, have you got anything for us this week?
I got a few fantasy relevant ones.
Yeah. I mean, that's what all the kids love to hear about, right?
Yeah. So the big ones I have are, let's just talk about Bijan Robinson for a second.
Did he get hurt?
He just didn't play because he was sick.
He was sick.
Posted it up, didn't play
right before the game, apparently. But he told them last night he was feeling better. But then he felt worse the next day.
So here's a funny thing about that. On Underdog, they had a free Bijan Robinson pick for him to get a half a yard, and he didn't even hit the half a yard. And I was shitting my pants. I was like, this is supposed to be a free pick. They just scammed me. But then they gave it to me. But I was like, dude, he didn't even hit the half a yard projection. What's going on? It said he was playing.
Yeah. So I think it's just an unfortunate. I think he had a migraine or a bad headache and tried to go out and couldn't play. But now the NFL is investigating the whole thing because they need to be reported on the injury report. And if it's a last second one, they have to send some kind of form in on a Saturday that says that this is now added to the injury report. They didn't do that, so it comes down to when did Bijan say he couldn't
might
go?
Not. Yeah, when he might not be able to go.
Yeah, because if the Falcons had time to report it and they didn't, they're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, man, as somebody that suffers from migraines,
you get it, right? You feel for the kid.
If that really was the reason, like a legit migraine, like I feel for the kid, and it could be something that freaking comes out of nowhere. There was another player, great wide receiver, Minnesota. What was his name? Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
Man, that guy was a nightmare for fantasy because
he played wide receiver at Florida with Tim Tebow.
Bro, he suffered from migraines.
He did. That's right.
He would randomly. It'd be Saturday night. You're feeling really good about your lineup. It's all set, ready to go. Maybe a couple things you got to check the next morning. You know, turn on the TV. Percy Harvin out, and it's like, what? And he's like, yeah, headache. And it happened. It happened a bunch. It ruined his career.
Yeah. Do you remember? I think it was DK Metcalf. Remember how he get carted off the field because he had to take a dump?
What? No, I don't remember.
You don't remember that? It was last season. He had to poop, and then they carted him off the field.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do in that situation? It's like, you know, you got at least 10 minutes till halftime. You're about to shit your pants. You're like already about to start playing again, go back on offense, and you're like, oh God, this is not, yeah, especially if it's like, you know, diarrhea or something like that. Like, what are you supposed to do? It's like, coach, I gotta go real bad, coach.
Yeah, dude, like I can't even walk, dude. You gotta get the cart.
That's the part that's insanity to me, because I mean, you just take yourself out, and coach, I can't, you know, and run. You sprint. Right?
If you're a guy like DK, you're getting starts
you do the little clench while you're walking.
Whatever you do, you don't have to get carted off the field, bro.
They got to at least have porta potties on the side or something. I don't know.
Tell me he got carted off the field because He already had it. He already took a dump.
Well, because it was like he was one really bad hit away from it just coming out, you know. So I guess it's better he just got carted out. Big hit on DK. Oh, what's that behind him? I think there's some mud in his face. Oh, it's a
flag
mud
for
pot.
illegal dumping. Oh, jeez.
So, yeah.
Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh man, give it to the dude with shit down his leg every play and watch no one will tackle him. Oh jeez. Oh yeah.
So yeah, the other the Christian Watson was a hamstring injury.
Shouldn't have ponchos for lunch. Oh my goodness. We've gone off on the show is off the tracks. We need to get back on.
I'm surprised I didn't know that happened. How did I not hear about that?
I don't remember that at all. Ray, do you remember that?
I remember hearing about it, but I'm not sure the details of it.
I feel like that would stick out in my head. I don't know.
What did the announcers say? Or are they just like, he's leaving because I can't say why? Well, it's not bad. It's just temporary. I can't
DK
say.
Metcalf took cart to poop. Says a clinch walk wouldn't have made it.
Oh, that's great. So what other injuries you got for us, Tabs? Current ones. Ones for this
Christian
wear
Watson.
a diaper. Sorry.
Christian Watson hurt his hamstring, which is only going to make things in Green Bay harder for Jordan Love, as he once again does not have Christian Watson like he did in the beginning of the season. But fantasy relevance, Romeo Dobbs is probably going to see an increase in work there.
Green Bay won pretty handedly against Denver this week, didn't they? We didn't talk about that game.
Didn't they lose to Denver?
No. Unless I got that wrong.
Yeah, they lost to Denver.
Oh, well, everybody.
If I'm correct, Packers are 2-5. They're no better than the fucking Bears.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm crazy. Everybody picked Green Bay to win, and they lost to Denver. That's what I should have said. Sorry. Yeah, that's what happens to you go to the garage before the show. Carry on.
The other two, I didn't get too in depth this time. Basically, we got chickens and shit today, so we were doing stuff all evening.
Hey, I guess that's as good an excuse as any, right?
Hey, look in the Discord. I posted a picture in the pets.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I hadn't caught up on that yet. I'll check it out.
Anyways, Jerome Ford, the running back for the Browns, has a low-grade high ankle sprain. And when I was looking and doing all this stuff for the injury things, it was saying that low-grade high ankle sprain average is about 3 weeks missed. So, look at the Browns backfield. They really only have one other relevant running back who took quite a bit of the load when Jerome Ford went out. I'm not going to give his name because I have a waiver on him. So if you can figure it out, good luck.
That's dirty, bro. That's dirty.
Dude, I have a waiver on him. I don't want to tell anybody. And then Deshaun Watson once again is he's just not good.
No, he's not.
Being in the Cleveland area, he's the king of saying he's good to go, but then doesn't go.
But you just
really?
not start him. For real,
yeah,
bro.
In terms of fantasy, he is completely irrelevant.
Fantasy and in real life, I think he's
In real
just
life.
not that good.
The Brown, he just robbed the Browns of $230 million.
Yeah, and because he's not good, and I don't get why they even paid him after what he did, which is ridiculous.
Exactly, and that makes it hard to cheer for the Browns. But
every time he's gone, they play better. I'm just gonna say, when he's out, they play way better.
Yeah. So basically, on the play that he went out on, I watched this play. he had a shit throw. I mean, if I were to throw an NFL pass, it's what it would look like. It was slow, it was short, and it went right to the defensive back.
Jeez.
He got hurt on that play. He hit his head on the turf. Went to concussion protocol shit on the sideline. He got cleared to go back, but then he had problems with his shoulder. So he's just a mess. The Browns once again are a mess.
Wow.
So huge disappointment there. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, but those are the big
Not
ones.
injury wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, Trevor Lawrence played well this week.
Yes, that was a surprise.
So he seems like back to normal. I know
when I heard the stat that he has never missed a game, I thought, okay, yeah, he's probably going to play this week too. So.
Right. And yeah, obviously CMC. We already had talked about the fact that he's played 100% of his snaps last week, so he's good to go. Yeah, I don't know. What do we? Let me bring up the games coming up this week. Which guys, if you're not already subbed to my Twitch channel and you want to play Pick'ems, drop a sub, and it's a perk that we offer for free to subs.
Fucking Brian's a motherfucker, man.
And we got Janu is still in the lead here in the podcast group. Widening up your lead a little bit. You got one on me this week, one on me last week, so now I'm 3 behind you. Dabs is right there, only 4 behind me, and Firestorm bringing up the rear, but surging ahead. It wasn't that long ago; he was below 50%, so things are looking up.
It can't get any worse than this past week.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Some of these matchups, it might get worse than this past week.
There's some tough games to pick up here. There really are some tough games to pick.
Cincinnati, San Francisco is going to be a good one.
Yeah. Who do you pick in that one? That's a good place to start right there, because if you can figure that game out, you might have a chance at the rest. But Cincinnati, San Francisco. Does San Francisco all of a sudden show up against a team that
it's a home
just
game,
started showing up themselves?
If the 49ers defense does, they're going to have no problem. If the 49ers can play from ahead, they're fine. It's once they start playing from behind that the last 2 weeks have shown they struggle.
Yeah.
So it's favor the Niners right now. It's the spread is 5.5 points.
Yeah, they're getting 3 automatically for being at home. So the Vegas thinks it's going to be kind of a close game.
I'm gonna be watching this I'm gonna be watching this spread throughout the week. I like under 4 for the underdogs, for the road dogs. But really it's up in the air. It all depends.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. If I was picking against the spread, then I think I would probably take Cincinnati in this one. If straight up, that makes it a lot harder. But I think I'd take Cincinnati if I were picking against the spread.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's coming off the bye. It is an away game for them, and San Francisco, it's kind of a do or die type deal. I will say though, the Cincinnati defense is okay, but we said the same thing about the Minnesota defense too.
So, no, I think actually what I was thinking was the Minnesota defense wasn't really good at all.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is
Cincinnati being
it doesn't seem to be a factor right
might
now.
be better. They might do better than Minnesota did against San Francisco.
Jets and Giants.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm taking Jets.
Yeah,
dude, that's another one that's real tough
Who's
on the
starting?
other
That's the real
side, isn't
question.
it? Like, who's going to lose that game? That's what you really got to figure out.
Who's starting for the Giants? That's the question. Is it still Tyrod? Because if it's still Tyrod, I'm favoring the Giants.
I think they'll start Tyrod still.
Do we really? Are we really going to?
I can't believe we're
Tyrod
saying
Taylor
this.
is
I cannot
better than
believe
Daniel Jones.
Hey,
I never thought in the year of our Lord 2023.
Look, I'm not going to say that he's better, but as far as fitting into the offense, I mean, it's looking a lot better. So I don't know.
Plus, he's got that dark visor with the fucking band.
Yeah, he looks cooler. Daniel Jones is always like,
when I played football, it was
tie 0-0. That's funny.
When I played football, it was you look good, you play good.
Daniel Jones always doesn't look good, and he always looks confused. Like, if I was the receiver, I'd be like, "Oh God, what's gonna happen? Are we supposed to be scared? I don't know."
Daniel Jones has 2 brain cells, and they're both fighting for second place.
But we've also so to be fair, we've all seen that kind of the journeyman like backup like Tyrod. He's been a lot of different places. He gets a shot. He goes out there. He looks like he's even better than the guy that had to skip a week. And then it's like then they go right back to the other guy, or he gets another chance rather. He gets, another chance and he shits the bed because he is what he is. That's why he's the backup, because no matter how bad the first guy is, he's definitely worse. That's Tyrod, right?
He is a backup for his ceiling is lower than Daniel Jones is.
Okay.
When it comes down to it. Tyrod,
what
he's
going to get.
Higher? He's going to get that mid-tier every time. He's not going to throw for 400 yards, 350 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's going to throw for, he's not going to, but that's not going to happen like you're going to see with those upper tier quarterbacks.
Daniel Jones hasn't been doing it.
Hey, I'm not saying he's better than Daniel Jones. I'm just saying that he's not like a starter level, like he's going to get us to the Super Bowl kind of guy.
No. I mean, I don't think the Giants are even making the playoffs, but
no.
They've definitely been doing okay. Okay is a loose term with Tyrod at the helm versus Danny Dimes, where it's like, what's going on? But
yeah.
So the spread right now is 2.5 points. The Jets are road favorites. It's a give or take at this point. I don't foresee this being a huge game. It's kind of going to be it's either going to be an absolute like score fest where every drive is a score, or it's going to be no scoring at all.
With the Jets defense, I think it's going to be more the latter.
The spread, the point total is 36.5 right now. I'd probably take the under on that one.
So fantasy wise, who's relevant in this game?
Nobody.
Not really anybody.
Darren Waller, he just came off a good game.
Zach Wilson in a super flex.
Dude, I will cheer for Zach Wilson until he no longer plays in the NFL.
Dude, he's got that dog in him.
I don't know why. I think he's kind of a douchebag too, but
you just love that he's a MILF hunter.
He's got that dog in him, dude. He's got that dog in him.
I'm just saying, since he played in front of Donna Kelsey, he's been great.
Yep.
I didn't expect him to do what he's doing now, so
and
I don't think
he's hanging around. But I mean, they
started that Chiefs game when Donna Kelsey was there, and he's like,
he was like, "Damn!"
He's fighting for his life.
Screw Taylor Swift. I'm trying
to stay relevant. Because if Rodgers comes back, which he's on a tear. It looks like he's coming back potentially this season, which we can do a whole segment on Aaron Rodgers and his voodoo magic. But
yeah,
I mean, Zach Wilson, he's taken a lot of flack over the last couple seasons, but he's performing this year. He's hanging around. He's doing okay.
I'm telling you, I've had him. I've had him in a super flex league before, and he actually ended up being my better quarterback earlier in his career. He's not terrible. And he's got arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league sitting behind him, rooting for him, educating him, and hoping that he wins enough games to keep them in contention so Aaron Rodgers can lead them to the playoffs.
I also think Zach Wilson is playing. I mean, he's playing for his job, but he's playing to stay with the Jets to learn behind Rodgers and say, I can be that guy.
I can, yeah.
Because remember last year, everyone's like, oh, fuck Zach Wilson. Like, he sucks.
They were booing him when he went back.
This year, when Aaron Rodgers goes down, they're like, all right, man, you got this. You can do it.
So they didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
So, like,
they got too high up on the season with, just like everybody else. Everybody else thought they were going to be great this year.
I mean, like last year, they were cheering.
They were Super Bowl favorites.
They
were Super Bowl favorites with Rodgers at the helm. And I mean, he came in and it was kind of the Tom Brady effect, but he got so many players to sign there, and he basically went in with a list of demands and said, "This is what I want, get it," and they got it.
I tell you what, it is so weird to see Zach Wilson completing a pass to Lazard and then Randall Cobb. It's like, I've seen this movie before, but something's wrong. It's like this isn't how it was supposed to go. It's like, I don't know. It's just surreal. It's surreal. We had such high hopes, but I don't know, man. Maybe he can do it just good enough, and Aaron Rodgers can just come back and take the reins.
I think that defense can take him to the playoffs and maybe more. If Zach Wilson can just keep doing better and the defense keeps carrying them, they're going to be a mean team in the playoffs.
Well, before they can have a chance to even sniff that division, Miami's going to have to decide who they are, and they got New England this week.
This is a litmus test for both teams. I feel like I can't believe we're still doing litmus tests in week 8. But yeah,
hey, that's the Titans know where they're at. They're suit.
Yeah,
they're looking for a top 5 pick. So
get rid of everything.
It's kind of going to be
high,
So New England had a decisive win against the Bills. The Bills crapped down their leg, but it's still a decisive win. Is a decisive win. They won outright against a team where they were expected to lose by 9+ points.
Mm-hmm.
Do they come in next week? Do they go down to Miami and get their doors blown off? That's the question. And if they do, what does it say about either team? Because it's like, okay, Miami is the heavy favorite. Obviously, they're at home and they already beat the Patriots, and the Bill Belichick cannot beat Tua for some reason. But if they beat up on the Patriots, does it really say that they're a good team and they can hang? Or if they lose to the Patriots, are the Patriots back? And is Miami a fraud team?
I think if they don't dominate the Patriots, people are going to say that. Like, if they dominate them, everyone's going to be like, well, expected it. Patriots are bad. If they barely win, people are going to be like, I don't know. If they lose, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
I think they have to do really good in this game.
Yeah, they got to rebound because they were expected to show a lot more against Philadelphia than they did. I mean, they were expected to win that game by a lot of people, and the fact that they didn't feel like they even showed up to the game.
It's heavily favored for the Dolphins. Like last week with the Bills, the spread is currently 9.5 points,
and that's another big one.
Big one.
I think you have to take that.
To be honest with you, I'm probably going to bet the Patriots covering because the Dolphins barely beat them out week 2.
They're rivals, aren't they?
And their divisional rival, the AFC East is, even though the Patriots are 2-5, it's still up in the air. Nobody has really emerged as the dominant force in the AFC East, which is strange. Obviously, it's more favored towards either Miami or Buffalo, but the Jets beat Buffalo.
I mean, if
the Patriots beat the Jets, the Patriots beat Buffalo. Buffalo beat Miami. Miami beat the Patriots.
Yeah, in the division is a mess.
It's kind of a mess.
I think the Patriots have to win right now if they want to make the playoffs. They got to start bringing it. Like right now would be the time for them to start winning. You know,
that's the talk of the town around here. You know, especially on sports talk is, well, if the Patriots win and they go up to 3-5, they're kind of sort of back in it. Like they can go on a run, and if they can beat Miami, they have probably the easiest part of their schedule coming up over the next. You know, obviously the Colts game is in Germany, so that's going to be that's kind of a coin toss. You never really know, but I mean they have Washington, they have the Giants, they have some kind of coin flip games, so there's a possibility they go on the run. The Lions had a similar kind of a similar start last season where they didn't do very well, but then they won 6 in a row and they came dangerously close to getting to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm going to root for the Patriots no matter what. But I kind of wish they would just. I don't want to say like lose games on purpose, but be
stop teasing you.
sell at the trade deadline, get draft capital. You know they have some young talent that hasn't gotten much. They just cut Malik Cunningham. That kind of makes me think that they're not going to be too eager at the trade deadline, and that they're not really going to, you know, showcase or at least kind of get an idea of this young talent. Belichick still wants the win record, so he's still going to try and win games. But if they would just, you know, if they would let these guys start and see what they do, and not necessarily go out of their way to win games, you know, not tank so to speak, but get towards that lower point in the league where they can get a better draft pick, I wouldn't be against it. You know, kind of looking at the forest through the trees, it's like I want the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl every season like they used to, but that's not realistic.
Yeah,
it's also not realistic that they're not going to do that this year, so they might as well make the most of it.
We got a couple more divisional games on the schedule for week 8 that are very interesting to me. We got the Philadelphia-Washington rematch. If you'll remember a few weeks ago, Washington almost beat Philly by pushing them into overtime on the last play of the game. That's going to be really interesting because will Philly coming off of a big win against Miami, will they take Washington serious? I would hope so, since Washington almost beat them last time, but Washington's kind of fallen off since that. And then Minnesota, Green Bay, Minnesota coming off a huge win. And Green Bay, exactly kind of like I thought they would, really not doing very good at all this season. They desperately need a statement win. And against Minnesota would provide that. What do you guys think about those two games this week?
Yeah, if Minnesota especially wins this game and keeps looking better, I'm definitely going to change my mind about them because how they're looking at the beginning.
I think most people are going to pick Minnesota this game. Does anybody think Green Bay has a shot?
I think the main thing is just the Vikings defense looking so much better last game. Like, I feel like that's what really does it for them, you know, because Addison's stepping up to the plate. They have, you know, a pretty decent offense even without Jefferson there. So I think they would win.
And is anybody going to step out there and say Washington's got a chance at winning that game?
No. I would put more money on Green Bay beating Minnesota than I would Philly beating Washington.
Divisional games are so crazy, man. They're
They
always
so
crazy.
That's a tough. That's an interesting. I don't know.
What if the Green Bay's got a better chance to beat Minnesota than Washington?
Yeah, I think Philly figures it out and puts.
If you wanted to take a risk, I would take Washington to win that out of probably the other games underdog picks. But it's still kind of iffy with them just coming off that win against Miami like they did. But they barely won against them. Washington hasn't been looking that good, though. So,
yeah.
No, I was big on the Sam Howell train preseason, but my dude's just not He's not holding it up for me. I have Jahan Dotson on some.
The
fantasy
spread's
teams,
6.5.
and he's not doing anything.
So
Wakko,
it's
I think
obviously favorite to the Eagles. Now the Vikings and Packers game, that's close, but the spread is 1 point right now. So
just about any game in Lambeau is going to be fairly close.
The colder you get, too. The colder it gets.
Yep, the colder. Well, that was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Is that going to carry on to? Is that going to keep going? Right.
I
Aaron
think
Rodgers
Wakko.
didn't lose in the cold.
Check it out.
He was like practically undefeated in December in Lambeau. Like, it's just insanity. But it's cold there, man. It's so cold up there.
Did you hear what I said?
What? No.
I sent you a trade. You should check it out while we're on the old.
Oh, are we doing this thing again? Or you guys do the trade thing?
Live.
I think it's an interesting trade. Bring it up and see what the panel has to say about it.
Let me see if I have my Yahoo. Can I do that? Yeah, I could do that. We got a live trading event as we speak. Where is okay? I usually do everything on the app, so view details.
Shut up, Brian.
I love it. Let me get this over here.
Or am I close to a trade? Let me know that at least.
Oh, you want me to give you hints on how to get my players?
No, I'm just saying. Look at the trade. What present the trade to Januvio and Ray and Lobster and Brian too, I guess. But
everybody says you're screwing me over. I haven't even shown anybody.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Okay, what do we got here? Kareem Pie compilation.
It's a great name.
He wants to give me Michael Thomas. It's Garrett Wilson, right?
Yeah.
And Dante Foreman.
And a third-round pick.
Oh, and a third-round pick.
For Eckler and
Rice. That's I mean, that's kind of steep.
I mean,
if you're trying to get my first round pick, you should probably at least offer me something that's, stacking players. See, okay, if you guys really want to trade with me, you have to give me something of equal value somewhere. Like adding players that I'm going to have to drop, that doesn't add any value for me, because now the pieces that you're throwing on top to sweeten the deal, I'm going to drop. So they're not sweetening the deal at all.
All right, fine. Just say no. Just say no.
No, I'm just saying that's one of the first things that I look at, and I'm like, this trade's going to suck, because you're throwing in extra
he's
players
selling
on top.
Deontay Foreman high, and then he's basically just getting rid of Michael Thomas, and then you get Garrett Wilson too. That's basically what it is, because Deontay Foreman just came off a great week.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible trade. I probably wouldn't take it, but you're also going to start over, so you get the draft pick. So I wouldn't say it's terrible.
Yeah.
Draft pick, so.
My major complaint there, I like the draft. I like the fact that you tried to sweeten it with some draft picks, but to get my number one first round draft pick, you might have to give up a first round draft pick.
Just because you drafted them in the first round doesn't mean their value right now in week 8 is going to be a first round talent. Not that Eckler isn't, but I'm saying, it could be the case in some situations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, in a dynasty league, is he worth giving up a first round pick? I don't know.
For example, Travis Kelce has been undoubtedly worth a first round pick.
Yeah. Eckler was hurt for a couple weeks.
Has Devontae Adams? No, he has not.
No. Eckler was out for a couple weeks, and that's the
You might even make an argument that Jamar Chase wasn't.
Yeah.
You could, but I think over the course of the season you'll see that he's definitely a first round talent. Just like I feel the same way about CD Lamb.
He got on the ball more.
He's Dallas's Edelman.
CD's been bumming me out this season. He's screwed me on a couple parlays.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a tough one to put money on because of how up and down the Cowboys have been, much like Cincinnati, how up and down Cincinnati's been. You know, it goes back to what we said earlier about some of those top 10, really top 5 to 10 wide receivers there at the top preseason have been a roller coaster ride. You know, they can win a game, win a fantasy week for you one week, and then just not really show up the next. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, I have Tony Pollard in my other league, and he's just done nothing for me.
Dude, Ray, I was trying to figure out how to counter your Debo trade that you sent me the other day.
Did I sent you Debo for the guy? What's his name? Shit, I'm having a stroke over here.
Oh my gosh, who was it?
The guy on the Colts. What's his name?
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs.
Yes, that's the one.
Dude, I'm willing to trade
Oh.
Josh Downs. I'm not. I picked him up as a waiver ad.
Yeah, I mean, he's been popping off. And you know, I have pretty good wide receiver depth, so I was, you know, I'm interested in you know, kind of getting that really good flex piece. But
Yeah.
I
have my core that I'm going to go in with next season, and Downs isn't in that core. So
okay. I want to go on a run this season. Like I'm trending upwards. And this is very similar to what happened last season, but I just need that extra oomph to get me over, you know, because once you get to the playoffs and going up against, you know, these top scorers, you kind of need that extra piece. And you know, I'm hoping and praying that Waller keeps it up, because tight end is like my toughest spot right now. There's just the tight end market is almost as bad as the running back market. There's just they're essentially zeros unless you can get a good one.
You know what market's been tough lately? Our parlay market.
No, I don't want to talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it.
We have to talk about it. And we're getting close to the end of the show here, and so there's no time like the present.
There you go, Ray. Sing and trade. Yeah, I picked my parlay pick. I got one ready.
This was our parlay for week 7. If you guys are keeping track of what we've talked about already, you probably have an idea that we didn't hit this week. Brandon Ayuk, that was my pick, right? Was that mine? Yes, because I said I was all in on Brandon Ayuk this week, and I am happy to, or unfortunately, I have to eat crow. So, man, I really like that. I really liked him a lot this week, and they just.
I'm accepting that trade.
All right, we got a trade acceptance. There we go.
Did any of these hit this week?
Minshew Mania.
Minshew interception
Oh
thrown.
God, that was a crazy game.
Yep.
Wait, where did that pick come from? Was that
this was the replacement, remember?
That was the replacement pick. Okay, because I was like, I don't remember talking about this last week. Okay. Yeah, very interesting. And that was the only one. So under Raiders and Bears did not hit. Over a touchdown and a half passing for Tua did not hit. And Brandon Ayuk anytime TD did not hit. That's our worst week ever. That's our worst week ever. What's a parlay? Moose says. All right, I'm gonna assume that you're serious, and I'm gonna let Ray explain that.
All right. So when we're sports betting, you can bet single legs. I can bet the individual under 37.5, for example. Or I can decide that I want to bet a bunch of things that I think are going to happen, and if all of these things happen, I get a higher payout. So
it's when Byron's talk without fighting each other. Oh, that's the best answer.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's like Anchorman. Like, what's diversity? Oh, it's an old wooden ship from the Civil War era.
So the thing with the parlay is every leg that you bet has to happen. So, for example, if 3 of these hit but 1 misses, the whole bet's out.
Yeah.
But if I bet those individually, then the 3 that hit, I get my winnings, and the one that misses, I lose my wager. That's pretty much it. But what it does is it dramatically increases the payout.
Yeah.
The winning odds.
Yeah,
so,
you're stacking bets so to increase your winnings.
So what we've been doing every week,
risk.
Yeah.
Whisk.
So what we've been doing every week since week 3 is the 4 of us bet. We pick a single to run in the parlay, and then I run it later in the week. Our first one that we hit, it was a $10 bet to get us, and we won $232 off of it. We are below 500 for the first time in the segment. There was a time where we were 500, but our record is now 2-3. We're hoping to bring it back. We're still in the green because we've only wagered. The segment has only wagered $50, but we're still netting over $300. So, we're doing pretty well in terms of betting, but the last few weeks have been kind of rough. Dabs, do you mind giving the legal stuff?
Oh shit! No, I can't do that today.
So just a reminder that we are not responsible for. You can follow along and have fun, but please do not take our advice.
This is not gambling advice.
This is not gambling advice.
Use code Janu on Underdog.
Do not.
Or
do
if you
not
have a
gamble.
calls 1-800-GAMBLER.
In most states, do not gamble more than you can lose.
Void where prohibited.
But use code Janu on Underdog Fantasies. I get $10.
So what's our bets? We need surefire winners this week.
I got a surefire one here. We have Tennessee Falcons under 36.5.
You and your unders. We'll take it.
Under.
Listen, they're both run-heavy teams. Tennessee has a great run defense, and I don't think Tennessee is going to be able to put up 28+ points.
Does the line change if Bijan doesn't have a headache?
He's supposed to, but I don't think it does because they got Cordero Patterson and Tyler Algier. Between those two, they'll split it fine. Keep in mind, Arthur Smith was the Titans offensive coordinator for a very long time. So he knows the Titans very well, the players and how they run things for the most part. He was offensive coordinator under Mike Vrabel too. So keep that in mind that they know each other quite well.
I like it. I love it.
And both teams are run first offense. So it's going to be a low scoring game.
All right, who's next?
I take Jordan Addison anytime touchdown.
Jordan Addison anytime touchdown. Okay, I like it. Yeah, he definitely had a big week this past week. He seems to be filling the void pretty well. There's a good possibility he keeps that going. So we'll put him in.
Oh yeah, he's going to be the number one when Minnesota doesn't want to pay Justin Jefferson.
Good point.
I don't know Kirk
They'll run
Cochain is gonna
Addison
be
on
there.
his rookie deal before they pay Jefferson.
So I don't have odds on that yet. They'll be posted later this week in the Discord, so keep an eye out. Just because we're a little early in the week, but we have Addison anytime touchdown. Wakko, what do you got?
Give me Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown.
Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown. Okay.
I feel like he's I feel like, he follows up a bad week with a good week. And he is playing New England. I know
He's going to be
Belichick
the best. He's going to be
has-
the best option.
I think he finds pay dirt this week.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to take the Thursday night game. We're going to know by Thursday whether our parlay is going to hit or not. I'm going to take a layup of a bet. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs over 87.5 rushing yards, receiving yards. He had a low week last week. He's going to face off against a short rest, banged up, down in the dumps, Buccaneers offense. They're not great in the secondary. I think he's gonna make some moves happen. So I'm gonna take Stephon Diggs over 87.5 receiving yards.
All right.
What do you think, Janu? Mr. Underdog Guru over here.
Yeah, this is the pick I'm waiting on.
Let's see.
Yeah, Moose, right?
I'm gonna shut you up. I'm gonna shut your moose knuckle up. You said you needed another one, right?
No. What do you think of Diggs over 87.5?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening. Diggs is super consistent with his yardage, so I definitely could see that happening. Are they going? Yeah, they're going against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So the last game, I mean, that was a blowout, for them. He only got 58. Before that, it was 100, and then before that, it was 121. So I would take it.
Yeah, I think he has an up week this week compared to
All
the
right.
last week. So
Is that our 4? We got our 4?
that's our 4. So
Recap it.
So we have the under on the Falcons-Titans game, under 36.5.
Right.
We have the Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Jordan Addison anytime touchdown.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was missing. Okay.
And we have Stephon Diggs, 87.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I like Addison getting a TD against Green Bay, too.
So keep an eye out on Discord on Thursday. The for those who live in a sports betting state and that want to play along at home with us, we will have the $10 wager and what it pays out, along with all the odds and all the info. So keep an eye out for that in the Discord.
Remember,
Thursday.
This is not gambling advice. Do not gamble with money you cannot afford to lose. And if you
have a
think you might
problem,
have a problem,
1-800-GAMBLER.
1-800-GAMBLER. Yes, sir.
Prohibited.
That doesn't apply here.
Subject to
Wait.
state taxes and fees or something.
It's not gambling advice. It's a gambling promise. No, I don't think that's right either. Boys, last thing I got is do not forget we do have Monday Night Football Squares available. The Monday night game we've got this week is a beauty. Raiders and Lions. 100 biddies per square. All of the week 8 squares are buy one get one free. So you drop 100 bits on one of my streams, I give you 2 squares for the price of one. I got 20 squares filled in the stream this morning. Other than that, the board's wide open. So come get them. Come get them. When you up to 8,000 V-Bucks are on the line, if you're a Fortnite player, this is the one you got to play. Other than that, I think that concludes our business for the week.
Yeah.
Anybody have an extra point they want to finish up with tonight?
Brian, you're going down, son.
Who do I even play this week? I play Uncle Rico. Who's that?
That's Homely Boy.
Rico. Homely Boy.
Homely Boy. Oh, shit.
AK.
And I'm projected to win.
Listen, come on. It's only Tuesday. Waivers.
I'm coming back. Listen, I'm coming back. I'm going to make that playoffs.
Bro. Just because you leapfrogged me.
I'm just saying, trust the process, Wakko.
That's true. That's true. Do not take fantasy football advice from me, apparently. I'm back down in the cellar. If anybody's in the chat at the moment that is a in our league, I'm a seller. Shoot me trade offers.
To be fair, Wakko, we're in the same division, and about 60 points separates us from the bottom. So,
that's why you offered me a shit trade.
I accept. Ray accepted a trade I just sent, so we have action.
Trade.
We have action.
So, well, you send him a good trade. You send.
I have not been a trade heavy. Well, I mean, it's an okay trade. I've not been a trade heavy guy in the 3 years I've been in this league. And I feel like that's one of the things keeping me from greatness. So happy to get a trade on the books. So
yeah,
Mr. Commissioner 11. To
Commissioner, can you accept a trade real quick?
I will. Calm down. I got to check my fantasy stuff too.
I didn't mean to yell. I'm just eager.
The trade has been canceled.
No, that's a trade I offered you.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, definitely cancel that garbage.
No, that's a new trade. I canceled that before you saw it.
Oh, why didn't you send me that one? See,
because it was too good. I had to cancel.
All right. Listen, my extra point. Go Rangers! Back in the World Series for the third time ever in history. This time we're gonna win, baby. Went in 2010, lost handedly San Francisco. 2011, we were one strike away from winning the World Series, and it was the biggest disappointment in Dallas-Fort Worth sports history. This year, I don't care who we're playing. The Rangers are winning the World Series. That's my hot sports opinion. Rangers are winning the World Series. Let's go. Hot sports opinion. Lock it in.
NBA season starts today. Cavaliers home opener is Friday against the Thunder. We're going to start out home victory. It's going to be a good NBA season. I'm excited.
I don't watch basketball. Should this be my first season watching?
Oh, my God. I fucking love basketball.
I'm a Mavs fan.
Mavs? Yeah, I'm a Cavaliers fan.
Go Celtics.
Donovan Mitchell. He's our guy. Little spider.
Right about here is my Luka Doncic pop. Right here. Luka Doncic.
Yes, Brian, I will agree with you on that. Basketball is so much fun to bet on.
Really?
Oh,
man,
my
that's
God.
Great. I love betting on football.
You should take any sleeper promo you can get. You should be betting it.
I got into sports betting during basketball season. It was NFL playoffs, but I was more focused on basketball.
Is it easier to bet on basketball, though? Because I've been doing pretty good with football bets.
It's mostly over-unders.
LeBron's won me like $300.
That's dirty money. So do I have to read the disclaimer again? You bunch of degenerates.
It's hard to quit when you don't lose. I guess I am addicted.
So I'm addicted to winning.
Yes, make money.
So my extra point is similar to Wakko's extra point. I'm glad we're kind of expanding our horizons with talk of other sports. Shohei Ohtani, he is a generational baseball player, and the number one rumor is that the Red Sox are heavy on Shohei Ohtani, trying to get him in. The last couple seasons have been kind of down for the Red Sox with spending and with everything else. We're about to see who's in the World Series against the Rangers. But if Shohei Ohtani comes to Boston, it's going to be a totally different city, totally different town. I will be jumping for joy, and he's super fun to watch. So
you're a Red Sox
we
fan.
love baseball.
Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you have a Red Sox fucking hat on. Rangers. What about you, Janu? Rangers?
Yeah, Rangers. Every Texas team.
All right, I'm a Pirates.
Gotcha.
Pirates and Guardians. I was an Indians fan until they changed their name, and I thought it was fucking stupid, so I switched to the Pirates.
Hot sports opinions. Yeah, spoiler alert, Diamondbacks are winning 4-2, bottom of the
One
ninth.
out, bottom of the ninth.
One out. And so yeah, time's running out for the old defending champs, the Phillies. All right, boys. Good luck in week 8. And good luck to all of you in week 8, in pick'ems, squares, fantasy, whatever. See you guys next week, Awkward wave. Bye-bye.